It's his wife's way of making sure he's actually working. So, to Miss Dinita Yangtemay back home in Yap, don't worry, we're keeping him busy. Oh, my apologies, she's in Hawaii. Aloha, ma'am. Want to take the time to recognize some of our distinguished guests that have made their way in. I know he had to brave the weather because he had to travel from Capitol Hill. Representative Ivan Blanco is here with us today. We also have the members of the Saipan and Northern Islands Municipal Council. We got Vice Chairman Kaipat and Secretary Tudela with us today. We have a former senator from the beautiful territory of Guam, and she's beautiful in her own right, Dr. Sam Mabini. Thank you, ma'am, for joining us. We do have members of our administration here, members of the cabinet. Thank you so much for being with us. Also want to recognize somebody very significant in the realms of traditional culture here in the CNMI and throughout Micronesia. Tatalino Olopai is here with us today. Seafarer, chanter, but overall an advocate for everything Micronesian. Thank you very much, Tatalino, for being with us here today. We also have Ms. Marian Pierce from the MVA Board of Directors. Thank you very much for being with us this morning. We had a very productive day two, a whole bunch of presentations, all in regards to issues that are of great importance to our region. So I want to thank the presenters who put in the time and the work to gather up their data, which was a very big word yesterday, data. Get all their ducks in a row and present it to these guys that we have sitting before us today. It was a very insightful second day. So as the chairman makes his way to the seat, in order to break the ice, I guess someone from Guam who came as part of Governor Calvo's delegation was asking me, Councilman Castro, can you started with a joke? Can you end the beginning of day three with a joke? I told him, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to, but I'm going to try to make this one brief. Okay. All 9 of our chief executives were in a canoe. They planned on sailing from Saipan to they wanted to sail from Saipan to Tinian. However, the canoe got shipwrecked on Goat Island, which is in between Saipan or Tinian and Rhoda. So it just so happens as they were trying to make their way through, they saw a magic lantern and a genie popped out. And he told each and every one of them, because of your stature, I want to help you, but I can only give you one wish. So, of course, they found it on Goat Island, they gave Governor Torres the first wish. Governor Torres' first wish was, I need to go back to Saipan. I have a cabinet meeting on Monday. Very well, your wish is my command. They gave Governor Calvo, since he was the second closest chief executive, the second wish. And he was like, I need to go back to Guam. I miss the food at the Chamorro village, and I'm afraid I may not get the chance to eat it again. So the genie says, your wish is my command. Lieutenant Governor Yangtamay says, I wish I was back home in Yap because I need some beetle nut. Your wish is my command. They go to Governor Peterson and they ask, what is your wish? I need a drink. Bring me back to Panape so I can get some sakao. Your wish is my command. Governor Elimo gets the next wish and he's like, I need to go back to Chuk. I miss my family. Your wish is my command. They go to President Remengesau, and he says, I need to go back to Palau. I'm overseeing the construction of a new abay, and I want to make sure that the design is just right. Your wish is my command. They go over to President Heine. Madam, what is your wish? Oh, I wish to be back in Majuro, looking out at the waves crashing along the sand. Your wish is my command. They go to President Christian. President Christian, what's your wish? I miss these guys. I wish they came back. Let's just say that that was the first joke that popped up in this head, because let's just say with all the stuff that's gone on, we've all had to filter some stuff in, filter some stuff out, but fortunately that one piece of humor stayed stuck in there. It's just a way to welcome you guys. This is day 3. We made it through the first 2 days of the 23rd Micronesian Islands Forum. Let's give a round of applause for that.
Thank you very much, MC. And this man died and went to heaven. Went up to the gate, and Jesus told him, do you have a horse? He says, no. What do you mean a horse? This is heaven. Well, there's a new rule. If you don't have a horse, you can't get into heaven. So you see that lemon tree down there? You go down there and sit under that tree. Maybe a friend will come along with a horse. So 30 years later, one of his friends came by and says, where are you going? He says, heaven. Hey, you don't have a horse. You know, Jesus has this new rule. So they designed this place. So the guy says, look, I'll be the horse. You get on top and you go. When Jesus says, do you have a horse? You kick me and I'll make the horse noise. So they went up to the pearly gates. Jesus says, so what do you want? He says, heaven. What do you think? He says, do you have a horse? He says, yeah, I have a horse. You know, the rules have changed, sir. We don't allow horses in heaven anymore. You take your horse down to that lemon tree and tie it up there. Maybe somebody can take it back. The moral of the story is you can't pull one over Jesus. He knows what you're doing.
Thank you, President Christian.
How murky can these jokes be in this conference? I have a few more I'd like to.
Well, I guess we're all set. Mr. Chairman, the floor is yours if you wish to proceed.
Anyone else wants to go to Pearly Gate? It's good morning, everyone. Today is our last day of this 23rd Micronesian Forum, and every good things do come to an end. And we'll be working on the resolutions. And I know we have President Tommy regarding the Education Committee.
Excuse me. We don't have rules yet. You know, it is said that for you to break the rules, you must understand the rules first. I like breaking rules, and I'm dying to have rules so I can break them. Can we go to the rules and adopt those, at least for my own sanity? Mr. Chairman, I would like to move that the rules as distributed and reviewed by the members this morning be adopted as the Micronesian Islands Forum's temporary rules of procedure.
Second. I'll second that motion.
Motion has been seconded. Discussion? Motion has been moved. Those in favor to adopt the rules of procedure, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Waiting for you.
Next on the agenda.
I'm for to say nay.
So do you want to go to each of the resolutions, or do we just do as a whole since we're already
Mr.
discussing?
Chairman, earlier this morning over breakfast, we were presented resolutions that were instructed to be provided to us, and we have reviewed all those resolutions and we were satisfied with them. May I now move that we adopt those resolutions?
Motion has been made to adopt all the resolution. Let me just for the record
Yes, yes.
announce and for
The
the
titles,
title
please,
itself. And I believe even the title might have changed a little bit, but the main focus is still the same. Let me go first with the first one. MIF, which is Micronesian Island Forum Resolution 23-1. Shifting distribution of stocks, tuna stocks, other climate change impacts on food security. I'm sorry, that would be not 23-02. The 01 is the resolution.
Mr. Speaker, begging your pardon, amending my earlier motion for a summary adoption of the resolutions, may I recommend that as you read out the title, we take individual votes on those resolutions.
Motion has been made to go back and every resolution to be identified, be voted on as we move forward. Motion has been seconded. Motion been made. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. So now we're gonna go back to MIF Resolution 23-02, and that is the adoption of the shifting distribution of tuna stocks and other climate change impact on food security.
So move.
So move has been seconded. Discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Now we move on to MIF Resolution 23-03. And that is requesting assistance to combat illegal, unregulated, and unreported fishing in Micronesia.
So move.
So move. Motion been made, seconded. Discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Chairman, sorry.
Under discussion?
I just want to bring up that during the discussions this morning, there was some minor amendments to that resolution, if I can bring that up. Just to make note that there will be some minor changes on statements to be inserted.
Yes, those changes has been made or will be made when we sign this resolution, but the concerns that was brought during the conversation will be changed by our council. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. We're now on MIF Resolution 23-04, building regional and jurisdiction level capacity for an expansion of telehealth and telemedicine in the U.S. affiliated Pacific Islands as a matter of priority to enhance departments and ministries of health capacities and capacities to deliver effective clinical and public health service. Motion has been made. Do I hear a second? Second. Under discussion? Ready? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Resolution 2304 has been adopted. Now going to MIF Resolution 2305 for the development of sustainable transportation networks in the U.S. affiliated Pacific Islands as a matter of priority to support the economic development and stability of crucial air and sea transportation routes.
Motion to affirm.
Motion has been made. Do I hear a second? Second, under discussion. Ready? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. We are now on MIF Resolution 2306 to take urgent action within each jurisdiction to demonstrate our commitment to the 1.5 degrees Celsius limit under the Paris Agreement. Motion has been made. Seconded?
Second.
Second. Under discussion. Ready? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. I believe that is what we have all together under the resolution. A short recess of 2 minutes. You know, this is the thing about I like about this Micronesian forum is this the leaders here are so efficient that we're 30 minutes ahead of schedule. So we're gonna take a few minute break while they finish up the resolutions to print out, and then we'll be able to sign it. And then we're off to the next one. Short minute break.
Once again, to those of us that are in need of some refreshments and some pick-me-ups, we have refreshments, coffee and tea in the back. If you need to use the restrooms, they're here at your disposal. I know we're going to be getting back into session momentarily, but just for everybody here, just a little fun fact. If you notice the gavel that Governor Torres has been using as chairman of this year's Micronesian Islands Forum, there is some significance to it. The gavel stone is bordered with a rope indicating unity, like strands in a rope. Those same strands of rope are the bonds of unity that each of these islands have with each other, or each of these jurisdictions have with each other. Of course, being in the Marianas, the latte stone is a symbol of strength and durability, so that is the gavel head. And on the shaft of the gavel are 9 stripes, indicating the 9 jurisdictions of the Micronesian Islands Forum. We'd like to thank Mr. Michael Finey, a carver originally from Yap, but makes his home here in Saipan, for designing this beautiful symbol of authority for the 23rd Micronesian Islands Forum.
What is it? Who's the most honest flag?
They would do a mile every year.
Every budget,
Yeah,
every,
Some of you are upside down.
They did.
Mine is always safe.
oh man.
Man, this is. I had yours and I ate his too. Yeah.
So last night I just stayed up till 3. I'm pretty good. So I ate dinner we were at the dry meat.
That's good.
For us to work on current jurisdiction.
And we really deep fried snack. I was talking to
I'll bring it up and then we'll make it up and we'll find a way out.
eating crispy pasta. Deep fried snack. think when we're preaching, we shouldn't be doing it. But you know, I don't know. Do you drink?
In about a couple minutes, the chairman will be calling everybody back into session. So please take this moment to start settling yourselves back into your seats to avoid any unnecessary distractions. This is just a reminder for tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock. There will be tours on the Okeanos Marianas, the brand new double hull canoe that was given to the CNMI last October. Of course, it has a limited capacity, so what I heard is that they will be breaking each ride down 20 by 20, so 20 individuals per cruise on the Okeanos Marianas. So we thank Okeanos Marianas for what they do for the work of seafaring and environmental sustainability throughout the Pacific, and they are honored to have individuals of these stature plus their entourages make the way onto their canoe, onto their vessel. So thank you, Okeanos Marianas. Once again, please take your seats. We are going to be rising back into session momentarily.
Yeah, they traveled to Macau, and Macau, Palau, and Palau up to Malaysia. No, this is 1700.
But they never had.
No, they were just, there's accounts of missionaries. The organized group came with Spanish, so-called settlers, and then the German.
The Spain tried to say that Palau.
Yeah, and they sold it to the Germans. And then the
Morning,
Germans,
Congressman. Angel, good morning.
had to give it up.
Congressman Ivan, good morning. Congressman Larry, good morning. You guys are the true progress of today and tomorrow.
Germans transferred to Japanese.
Greetings, Councilman
The Spanish.
Diego. Diego Kaipat.
Spanish.
Councilwoman Chapter. Good morning. We're just waiting for one. You can just back.
Yeah, yeah.
We're trying to do what it looked like 400 meters ago. Our history is a tragedy.
Well, absolutely. It's sad through this. Every society is slowly but surely kind of losing the very, very, very heart traditions. Everything's changing. Even the dances. We now have so-called contemporary.
I saw that. I think you're the one
It's a very typical, very boring. If you didn't understand the language, you just. The main thing was the language, not the action.
You know, to cultures change. They evolve.
Okay, thank you.
There's no highly extended family as before. Everyone to himself.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
We are back from a short recess. And at this point, we're going to have the signing of the letters and communications.
I'd like to ask for the members of the Micronesian Islands Forum to please proceed to the top of the stage for the signing of letters and communiques. Please take your seats next to your respective jurisdictions' flags, gentlemen. Or you can pick and choose. Now's a good time to take a picture. Before we proceed on, can we ask for the FMB staff to kindly turn the projector off? We got glare in the eyes of our governors and our presidents, so can we please have the projector turned off momentarily? Thank you very much. Now you guys can take pictures. Signing on behalf of Her Excellency President Heine is Minister of Foreign Affairs for the Republic of the Marshall Islands, John Silk. And might I add, someone with strong ties to Saipan. A truly historic moment, not just for all of us here, but for Governor Torres personally. If our stats and data are correct, he's the youngest chairman in the history of MIF. Handsomest? That's a topic of discussion. Just kidding, just kidding, just kidding.
Thank you very much. Everything's with you? Pleasure to see you.
If you're wondering what's the secret for them being able to sign all of those documents as fast as they are, we were able to get a Suruhana from Rhoda who masters in making sure that she gets rid of any carpal tunnel they may have signing those letters. So, and that's a lot of documents, ladies and gentlemen. They're almost there, ladies and gentlemen. Governor Torres had a lot of practice this week. 2 days before MIF, he had to sign 5 or 4 proclamations into effect. So want to thank our esteemed ambassadors for joining us throughout these 3 days. So thank you very much to Ambassador Riley, Ambassador Stewart, and Ambassador Hyatt for being here to witness everything that has been discussed and everything that is being signed right now before our eyes. And we want to give special recognition to the DRs once again, because they're the ones that definitely sweat a lot when it comes time to putting all of these things together. And they were up late last night, right, Eric? Late last night, making sure that all of these documents that the chief executives are signing were ready for today. Otherwise, we'd be here all the way till dinner. So to the DRs, of course, thank you so much for that, for the awesome work that you guys have been doing. And just to ensure the continuity of decorum, the members are still in plenary session. They're just signing papers.
we need to work on that one a little bit. Our position is well known. That's right.
Oh, prior to the next motion, to all the media that's gathered here today, there will be a few final group photos up here on the stage prior to them going back into session. So for those of you guys that want to take pictures of them on this table before they head back into session, you may do so now. Picture naman. Do we have President Christian?
We're missing one.
Okay. Chief Executives, while waiting for President Christian, everybody, let's all go. Kumbaya, my Lord, kumbaya. That moment when you're just waiting for one more person. Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the stage, His Excellency, President Peter Christian of the FSM.
He has his priorities.
Okay. Now you can take your pictures.
Hey, I hope President Trump is watching this.
All right, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the members of the 23rd Micronesian Islands Forum.
We're back to our plenary session. Before we move over to the next item of agenda, which is the designation of the next forum will be conducted, I would like to acknowledge President Peter Christian.
On behalf of the Governor of the good state of Truk in the Federated States of Micronesia, we propose that the state of Truk hosts the next sitting of the Micronesian Islands Forum.
Motion has been seconded. Those under discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Congratulations, State of
Mr. Chairman,
President.
on our first day, there was an item that was glossed over. It was about us sharing information about business ventures that enter the region to conduct business, some of whom have skipped from one state or one entity to another and restart a business having left behind some dark spots. And the idea was if we could agree to share information with each other on this matter. I bring this up now, not for its action, but to ask that the chair write this down somewhere so that in the next 12 months we could probably do something about how to go about accomplishing that objective. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, can I make a statement?
Yes, sir, Mr. President.
I have a choice between the two titles of building a welfare federation and world cooperation. So I think I'll do world cooperation, so please excuse me while I find it. Ah, there you go. The magic of these things. Ladies and gentlemen, Chairman, Excellencies, the notion of cooperation has its oldest root in the original partnership between man and woman, dating back to when Adam first asked Eve out on a date. Seeing that the wilderness animals feared the mass of two more than a single person, they decided to become partners. Since then, many forms of cooperation have been used by individuals, companies, entities, corporations, and states to enhance their presence and their combined force of many to improve their ability to overcome challenges which may otherwise be difficult by the single force of one. The United States Army has coined an excellent phrase for this, an army of one, many folded into a single formidable force. Since that first date also, for many forms of cooperations that man felt needed, there were equally as many reasons for uniting to be stronger. Political conviction, religious advocacy, independence from tyrannical colonialism, economic success, cost of living reduction schemes, alliances in war, and globalization for industrial dominance. In one word, power. More recently, man and his nation came together to face each other in what I considered the biggest, most daring cooperation of all, to challenge man and his nation to the task of saving our earth from degradation. There are schools of thoughts on how the world and man came to be. The Federated States of Micronesia is a Christian country, and I, its current elected and selected president, am a Christian myself. I subscribe to the proposition that the earth and man were the creations of a good, loving God for all mankind and even for womankind. There are also those who believe differently, and I have no quarrel with them. The earth, this earth, is ours. For those who believe like me and also for those who believe otherwise, it is up to us how we wish for earth to remain hospitable and life-giving. Scientists have studied the quality of life of our earth. There are different and differing scientific explanations. For oceanic people, we know what has happened, also believe why the ocean is stressfully in need of our collective help right now. Not tomorrow, but today. The earth has one ocean only, with different names for parts of this ocean. We are the people of the Pacific Ocean and the most vulnerable against the phenomenon of climate change. We no longer need to listen to the arguments between the scientists. We see, we feel, and we now fear continued abuse of the ocean as our birth on the path of extinction. Oftentimes we are challenged, polarity becoming the haven away from good reasoning. Such are the most demanding of times as it is now for our leadership, for family, for the community, our region, and this blessed globe we named Earth. In the myriad of responsibilities that leaders are challenged with each working day, often a few matters seep through the bureaucratic cracks and are left unnoticed until too late. And often in our haste to finish the list, we end up being blind to the forest because of the trees. I have often reminded myself that a man who walks slowly through the forest often finds his way out. And so even as imminent as the onslaught of angry changes to our islands, I counsel us to be deliberate. Deliberate in our thoughts, more deliberate in our actions. We must not make decisions at the point of desperation, lest in our haste, we choose desperately. That is why we must begin to think today about what we must do tomorrow for us and for our children as well. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. I've been wanting to make this statement for 5 years, and I finally found a good place for it.
Thank you, Mr. President, because we've been waiting for 5 years. For that, I just wanted to make sure that we followed down the proposal that we're gonna include Education Committee for the next forum. And just for formality, can I hear a motion to include education for the next committee?
So moved.
Motion has been made and seconded. Discussion? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Now we'll just include the Education Committee for next forum. At this point, we have the closing remarks of respective representative of each state and country. So I would like to start with, well, you know what, let me start with the President, President Tommy Remengasao from the President, Republic of Palau.
So, Chairman, what can I say? I mean, we've just signed on to some very important resolutions and letters. Thanks to your able leadership in facilitating these results. I was going to share a story, and maybe it's a good time for me to share the story of my late Chamorro cousin, Sharky is his name. So Sharky died and went to heaven, to the caves of heaven. And lo, Peter was there and said, Sharky, today you're a lucky man. You won't be judged. Instead, I'll give you a choice. You can go to heaven or you can go to hell. And of course, you can check out both places. So Sharky says, yes. He takes the elevator up to heaven. And in heaven, angels were singing. There was happiness, smiles, tranquility. Everything was just no stress, no pressure, no problems. Everything was mantika in heaven. He takes the elevator down to hell, opens the door, and there's fiestas, there's bands. Everybody was partying and having a good time, and all kinds of people having a good time in hell. And he said, wow. So he comes up to Peter and says, Peter, I never thought I'd see the day when I choose hell over heaven. But I must go to where the fiestas are and all these good parties are happening. So the next day he takes the elevator, makes his decision, takes the elevator down to hell. The door opens and lo and behold, there's pain, there's sorrows, there's fire, there's discontentment. Everybody was crying and in pain. And so he sees the devil with a fork and goes up to him and says, hey, what happened? I was here yesterday and everything's so good. Why is there suffering now? The devil said, oh, the campaign is over. The elections was yesterday. Welcome to the real world. This is nothing for the election of the. I do want to wish our chairman the best of luck in the coming elections. Certainly thank the people of the CNMI once again for not only your hospitality, but coming to Saipan and just seeing the people's faces and friendliness and the culture here, that's really the spirit of the Micronesian Islands Forum. It's getting things done our island way, our Pacific way. And so, again, Chairman, not only do I thank you, but I thank our respective representatives working hard behind the scenes to get our ideas and resolutions across. I do want to thank everyone for their support of the Secretariat. I think we all know by now that good ideas do need follow-ups in order to be implemented. So please, let's pay our dues by the end of May. I thank the Governor of Guam, even though he's going, he has remained very active, not only as chairman until this year, but will continue to support us in his, throughout the whole year. And for everyone here, let's do what we can and see you in Chuk next year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. President Krishna.
Thank you very much. I join President Romengasal in thanking you, and through you, the people of the Northern Marianas for their hospitality and their willingness to tolerate our presence here. I'm also happy that we've decided to create the education committee of this group. It's very important. Education is so important. It's something we can hang our hats on in the future. I'll give you a good example. This teacher said to his students, if your father went upland and brought down 12 breadfruit and he brought 8 down to the house, how many breadfruit is left for you to pick up? You 3, you 4, very good. How about you, Johnny? He says, I don't know, I'm afraid of ghosts. He answered about how he felt. It's not about the question there. Me, when I was growing up, the teacher said, when you children grow up, what would you like to become? And everybody wanted to be a doctor, a pilot, a policeman, a cook. Me, I raised my hand and says, I would like to become the 8th president of the Federated States of Micronesia after Manny serves his term. So education is very important. Mr. Chairman, I'm going to read this, my closing one. Most young people today whose curiosity about geography, especially in the Pacific, stray to the northwestern Pacific, will find the new political entities today that have become the Republic of Palau, the territory of Guam, the Commonwealth of the Northern Marianas, the Federated States of Micronesia, and the Republic of the Marshall Islands. These political groupings of islands make up what I usually refer to as the American Pacific. Fewer, perhaps, will ever know or care to know that the islands from Palau to Kasai were known as the Caroline Islands, and that some of these Carolinians were great seafaring navigators who trekked to the far corners of this vast Pacific Ocean sometimes claiming as their right of first discovery the larger land masses of Guam, Saipan, Pohnpei, and Kosrae, way before Christopher Columbus accidentally ran aground in the Americas. That from an atoll of the Carolines, a navigator will rekindle for the Polynesian brothers the way of the seas by stars and waves. Some will know that Americans and Micronesians share a long history, beginning with some chance discovery of islands and atolls by American whalers, by the arrival of missionaries from the eastern shores of the United States, a touch and go bartering relationship between sailors and islanders, a dash of conflict here and there, stranded sailors and conscripted islanders as replacement sailors, all edge a colorful period of curiosity and mischievous engagement. The romantic will also weave some Robinsonism into this lore, and when the rum has flown some, will remind us that perhaps the last engagement of the American Civil War took place in one of Pohnpei's inlets. Of course, none will admit that both ships did not know that the war was over, nor that President Lincoln had been assassinated. All these stories of early discoveries and romantic anecdotes between Micronesia and the United States relationship took on a totally new look when the Japanese-American War ended in the Pacific. And Micronesia became a spoil of war territory, assigned to and administered by the United States under a mandate from the United Nations. This entrusted territory would become the only designated strategic trust territory and remain so throughout the Cold War era and preserved today under the military denial clause of our current treaty and partnership agreement with the United States. For everything else that people want to say about this relationship, I just want to conclude that notwithstanding my own personal issues with some administrators from the United States government, I insist that this relationship between Micronesia and the United States is good, is dependable, and it's the way we want it to be. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Next, we have the Minister of Finance and representing the Excellency President Huda Heine. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Governor. Fellow Micronesians, first let me apologize on behalf of President Heine, who could not continue this meeting this morning, as he had to leave, as you very well know, Governor, to the Marshall Islands, because next week we have our constitutional celebrations, and so she wanted to make sure that she get there in time. So, but on her behalf, I'd like to again thank you, Governor, and the people of the Northern Marianas for your kind hospitality to the President and her delegation throughout this week. Secondly, I want to inform the Secretary of this myth that we just transferred $15,000 to the Secretariat from the Marshall Islands as our contribution to this forum. The check is not in the mail, it's already been transferred. Mr. Chairman, our collective approach to common challenges would be better served if we have the necessary expertise to assist us, particularly from our regional crop agencies, such as the Secretariat of the Pacific Regional Environment Program, or SPREP. We are all members of SPREP, although I'm sure we would like more focus in Micronesia. With your indulgence and the forbearance of the other chief executives the RMI have expressed interest to host a SPREP Northern Sub-Regional Office, the presence of which would be more beneficial to Micronesia, given that the RMI already received the support at the recent Micronesian President Summit earlier this year from FSM, Palau, Kiribati, and Nauru, and we seek the support of Guam and the CNMI, and that it be reflected and noted in this meeting. In closing again, on behalf of President Heine, we offer our most sincere thanks to you, Governor, and the people of Northern Marianas, and also to thank you, Governor Calvo, for all your 8 years of service to this important body. We wish you best in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. We'll go next to our Honorable Governor, Johnson Elmo for the state of Chuuk.
Kirisu Potiroom, Governor Torres, Stiro on Medicine, Liris non AJ region, Tori Medicichon non Yerian, Atskabung Raranim. I once again, on behalf of the people of Chuuk and its leadership, I want to express our appreciation for and thank you for a successful forum. And most especially, I want to thank you, Governor Torres, for your able stewardship to a successful ending of this forum. And to also extend to the good people of the Northern Mariana Islands for such excellent arrangements and logistics and hosting, and most especially the hospitality you have shown to us over the past several years or several days. I really want to also echo some of the previous comments in thanking the good Governor of Guam, the Honorable Governor Calvo, for your leadership and contributions to the development and improvement of this forum. Thank you very much. You will be surely missed, and I wish you the best as you continue your career in other areas. I will be remiss if I don't give thanks to members of this forum for selecting or agreeing to host, for Chuuk to host the next forum next year. Thank you very much. And with that, I ask that you limit your participation or your delegation to only 50, because I cannot host more than 50.
Is that each? Is that each or?
No, 50
altogether?
members. Thank you. We've discussed so many important issues facing our region, and they were culminated in the resolutions that we have all signed. But I just want to bring up some statements made during the presentations, one of which is very, very true. I think it's very true that we must, in all we do in our region, we must think sustainable against growth. And also, the other important thing is that we keep our local data to use in order to set our own metrics of development rather than depending on outside data economically. And I think it can work both in all areas, whether socially or politically. And again, once again, thank you very much for a successful summit, and I'm looking forward to host all of you next year in June. Thank you very much.
Honorable Governor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
State of Pohnpei.
Last night we had the opportunity to, President and Governor, Lieutenant Governor, had the opportunity to sit with former Governor Fidel and enjoyed the night. But what I was so happy about was the band. There was a band there playing Ponapan songs, Chamorros, Carlinians. And some of the Ponapan songs were composed when I was like 8 years old or 10 years old. These are the old ones.
How young you are.
And so I thanked him before I left because it brought back some good memories. Speaking about memories, my family lived here in the early 80s. And so I had also sentimental values about this island, attached to this island. I was a young boy running around with so many girls and boys here, but what emotionally brought some emotions, what my grandfather drowned here on the beach, right, probably 400 meters away from here. And that brought back so many emotions. But I consider here as also home because I was brought up for a couple of years. Well, Governor Torres, I want to thank you for your hospitality. Your people have been so hospitable. And I think every time I'm here, they're very hospitable. And we had the opportunity to meet some of our citizens yesterday. And so that was a good opportunity for us to see how they were doing. But again, thank you, and see you, Smase.
Thank you. You know, thank you very much, Governor. So next, we have the Honorable Lieutenant Governor James Yantamay representing the beautiful state of Yap.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Chairman. Indeed, it's an honor for me to be at this at the table where you're at. As you know, I have I'm deep-rootedly into the culture over here, and you know that. I have a deep connection. To all the leaders of the MIF countries, I echo the sentiment of all the leaders, thanking you, Mr. Chairman, Governor Ralph Torres, for organizing a very successful MIF forum. I thank your staff for all the efforts and great work that they put into the preparation for this forum. Every time I come here, it's always, the welcoming is always very overwhelming. But this one is an extra overwhelming welcoming experience for me, not only because I'm amongst the leaders of this region, but because I'm given the opportunity to see many of friends, relatives, former students that I thought I was, or know that I was part of their nurturing when I was teacher in this Commonwealth. As you know, your most beautiful wife was a former student of mine. Give her a round of applause, please. There are many other former students who became leaders of this Commonwealth that I see them around. And if I may, I'd like to say names, a few of them. Well, two are your two brothers, Vince and Jack. Angel Dumapan, who is also a member of the Commonwealth legislature, and I understand he's also running for another office, upcoming election in November. the man who graced our opening, Mr. John Gonzalez, was also a great student of mine as well too. All of them were great students. I believe Miss Glenna Palacios Regis was also one of them. LJ, you know, my computer up here is getting rusty, and I'm not even sure, but maybe you were as well too.
You look successful.
Yeah.
You're my student.
Yeah, there are so many of them. You know, I probably, you know, according to my calculation, probably about 3,000 or 4,000 of the Commonwealth students from, well, from all over were probably my students over the years that I taught over here. So I'm really thankful for the opportunity that the Commonwealth gave me during those years that, you know, I was here to be part of their education, upbringing. Thank the people of this Commonwealth for being so grateful to me during those years. And I hope that upon retiring from where I'm at, I will still be welcome to come back here, Mr. Governor. The experience I've had at this MIF during the last couple of days has been a very rewarding learning experience for me. As I mentioned during the opening, I was also at the one in Guam. That was my first Micronesian Island Forum. And indeed, that one was also an experience, nerve-wracking experience, if I may say. I am the most junior member of this forum, and I'm sure you know that. This is only my 3 years of political experience. So, you know, there's a lot of room for improvement for me. But again, you know, I thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for all the hospitality that you've extended to me and my delegation during our stay over here. I thank you very much, and your people. God bless, Jesus Mase, and all mine. Thank you.
The Honorable Eddie Calvo from the Territory of Guam.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair, Honorable Excellencies, Minister and Governors, Lieutenant Governor. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here in my final MIF, 8 years. And I was thinking about it, the very wise words and the comedic end to a very funny joke by President Remingsaw in regards to the elevator. And I thought about it too, because as he was discussing heaven and hell and the festivities in one area and the harps playing in the other, I had an opportunity last night to visit and enjoy all parts of the CNMI Saipan. In fact, I stayed out a little bit too late. But I went to the Flame Tree Festival, then I went to some places. I think I ate dinner 3 times. There was a lot of partying and fiesta, and the fiesta attitude out there. Part of it is a dynamic economy, and then I thought about it, there's a campaign too. And then I also thought about it, about when the campaigning is over. My campaign is over. But that's why it's been such a special trip over here. And again, since Tuesday night, because it was my final time as governor of Guam, visiting your beautiful island, I took in everything, aside from being here and working with very critical issues with all of you, but just taking in the people of Saipan and all, again, the wonderful hospitality. And again, I think I've gained a little weight in the short time I've been here. The great food and the great culture here. So this is it for me, and I got to tell you too, as to my host, Governor Torres, the perspective of working, I've worked with 3 of governors of the CNMI, starting with my first MIF, Governor Fitiel, the late Governor Enos, and yourself, and I am I must tell you, whether it was in trips to Washington, D.C., or events throughout the United States, and also events such as this, all three of the governors, and some very sick, they gave their blood, sweat, and tears for the people of the Northern Marianas. And then now, as I see this, the youngest governor of the Northern Marianas, I think in its history, I see also a lot of optimism for the future with your dynamic leadership. So, Governor Torres, thank you so much for being a colleague of mine, working so collaboratively in so many issues, but also, you know, being my brother. I consider you my brother, so thank you. God bless you. Thank you for the great work you've done here with this forum as well. And to all of you, my fellow executives from throughout Micronesia, my first trip to CNMI was about 1968 as a boy with my father, my mother, and my family. At the time, it was a Continental Air Micronesia flying boat. I don't know if that's still around. And then later on in my life, in the private sector, I've visited every one of your islands, your beautiful islands, nations, and states in the private sector. And then, of course, these past 8 years, working with you in political issues that were so important to our community. It has been indeed an honor. For me, what fitting end with again, a theme, navigating the world as one Micronesia. That's it. So by the way, President Christina just showed me the flying boat, and it was comforting because we knew then, you know, we can't make the runway, at least the airplane will float. But the world seems to be, all events seem to always move westward. And as you look at the 21st century, and you look at events, and whether it's the economy, the economic engine of the world, or the great military powers, the movement has been between the Americas and East Asia. Things that happen in that part of the world and decisions that are made are impactful to the entire world. And as you look at a map, and we all know the map because we've been to our respective communities here, the Micronesia is in the middle of it. I am an American citizen and a proud American citizen, a proud Chamorro and a proud Guamanian, and a proud Micronesian. As the events of the world are occurring, and as we navigate this world as one Micronesia, much of the decisions in the centers of power will have to deal with this area. We're only 500,000 people. The land mass is not very big for all our islands together, but a geographic area larger than the United States, and as you mentioned, even the European Union, there is significant decisions that are going to be made in capitals far, far away. And that is why it's so important, this forum, as we talk on the issues that affect us, that the decisions made here, and every one of us, the respective leaders, and what you bring back to your local legislatures or congresses, or what you bring back to, let's say, me and Governor Torres to Washington, D.C., and how you, especially those independent nations, you and the respective international bodies that you represent your nations, we can make a significant impact in decisions. And that's why it's so important for all of us to continue to work collaboratively to the issues of all our respective island nations and communities, but what we can do to work mutually and collaboratively to benefit all of us. I'm leaving as a politician and as an elected leader of Guam, but I fully anticipate in January of 2019 and the years ahead, I will be visiting every one of your beautiful island paradises as just a regular citizen of Guam and a regular Micronesian. And I told this to the new chairman, Chairman Torres. I'll probably be there in Chuuk next year. Not here, but I'll probably be, if you allow me to, I'll be sitting in the back as one very interested in the decisions that you all make. To all of you, it has been an honor working with every one of you. It's been an honor representing my island, my territory, with fellow territories, fellow nations, and states. So on behalf of the people of Guam, on behalf of my wife, our administration, I want to say thank you so much. My experiences with you have been so enriching to my life, and I'm so thankful. God bless you all. God bless your nations, and God bless Micronesia. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, before we...
Mr. President, before I begin, I would like to acknowledge you.
Thank you. I would like to congratulate our friends from the United States, especially for the government, for their new Secretary of State. It is good to know that that post has been filled and that there would be somebody to listen to us. Thank you and congratulations, ambassadors.
Anything else? Okay, well, I would like to, before I do my closing remark, I would like to thank all the staff, Fiesta staff. I know that you guys have worked not just in here, but taking care of all our dignitaries. Can we please give them a round of applause, please? To my staff, I cannot say enough thank you to these masters and Gilison for the hard work. But at the minimum, can you please stand, everyone that has helped contribute, whether here in Saipan or the other respective states that has assisted one or another. Please stand up. Obviously, we know as the executives that you guys are the backbone of the work, and what you guys produce is what make us look good or bad. So thank you for all the hard work that you have done. To all the employees, and most especially, I would like to personally thank NMC for the live stream that they've been recording. So can we give them rounds of applause so that the Lieutenant Governor's wife can watch and yeah. Today, our session here is navigating the world as one Marianas. And as us here, I've been around different meetings. Governor Calvo, we've been to different meetings, whether there's NGO or the Republican Governor Association. But this is very sentimental for me because every one of you have ties not just to Saipan, but the region. Governor Elimo's sister, I knew them 20 years ago. You were a teacher for my brothers and my wife, some from Trust Territories. And so every one of us have ties one way or another. And who would have known? We're all here trying to make good for the future. And that's what it is about our word of Inafamolik, for us to do good for one another. As our resources here, and all of you guys have seen, the economy here has grown. But it is not just for us to see this grow. We want to share that growth also to everyone in Micronesia. And I tell you, the resolution that we all have signed, sending that resolution or the letter to the United States as one Micronesia, it will definitely make an impact. That I assure you. Because I don't think we've ever done that before. Mr. President, Palau, you have a very different relationship. We all have different relationship with the United States. But when we come in together as one, that we all share the same difficulties and challenges, I believe it's going to be given a different attention that it needs. And when I was in Pohnpei a couple weeks ago, and the first time for me to try Sakao. And the other night, we were at Diego Benaventi's house, and they brought some Sakao over. And we had the opportunity to drink some Sakao with the Governor Peterson and President Christian. And that's when it kind of kicked me again that you can take the boy from the island, but not the island from the boy. And that for us, all of us here, no matter where we go, we are proud of who we are, our nationality, our culture, and our language. And I gotta say that I am very blessed to where I'm at, given this position and acknowledging and giving me the opportunity to chair this Micronesian Island Forum. It's a great honor. And in the end, all of us want to do good for our children, our grandchildren. And I would not be here without my beautiful wife. I want to personally thank her for being here, all the support that she's given me. Yesterday was my oldest son's birthday. He turned 12 years old. And we asked him so many things, what he wanted to do. He wanted to swim in the swimming pool out there. So after here, I went and spent some time with him. But my wife made me realize that our position we'll always have meetings set aside. Everybody wants to meet with you. And until last trip is when I realized that she'd said, what are you fighting for? And I said, I'm fighting for everybody, the elders who've done their work, but most especially our kids. And she said, well, you're fighting for our kids, but you haven't spent as much time with them. And so that's when it kicked that it's true. If we open up all of our schedules, it'll always be filled. You, Governor, you're working on your brand. But for me, it's our children, they're young and they're growing. And that made me realize that without the love of family and respect, I don't know how do we fight for something, for somebody else, if we don't have that within ourselves. So with one Marianas, one Micronesia, if we have the extra resources, let's help each other. At the minimum, please let's not hurt each other. So with that, si Zeus Masi, Giliso, and thank you. And I look forward for the next myth. Thank you very much.
Can I make an announcement?
Of course.
Yes. It only came because you talked about helping us. I'd like to announce and request the help of the United States Department of State to help us facilitate the paperwork necessary to open our honorary consul here in CNMI. Yesterday, we announced the appointment of Mr. Benavente to be our honorary consul here, so he can help you, help our citizens here. Thank you.
Thank you for that appointment, and we'll, as a government, and when we are ready to announce that, we'll see what we can do to make sure we facilitate that.
Ladies and gentlemen, as host of the 23rd Micronesian Islands Forum, as well as chairman of the 23rd Micronesian Islands Forum, Governor Ralph De Leon Guerrero Torres would like to take this moment to reward each of you, his colleagues in this body, with a small token of appreciation. So as your name is called, please proceed to the front. His Excellency Tommy E. Ramirez-Sao Jr., President of the Republic of Palau. Assisting with the gift giving is our First Lady Diane Torres, together with Lead Direct Representative for the CNMI, Glenna Regis, and Mr. John Oliver Gonzalez, Chief of Staff, Office of the Lieutenant Governor. Calling forward on behalf of Her Excellency Hilda C. Heine, President of the Republic of the Marshall Islands, John Silk, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Republic of the Marshall Islands. The ever-intelligent and ever-entertaining Excellency Peter M. Christian, President of the Federated States of Micronesia. Who, in turn, on behalf of his staff and the governors of the Federated States of Micronesia, present their gift of appreciation to Chairman Torres. We always joke around that the First Lady is the governor's governor, so the reward fits the title. Governor Elimo, Governor Peterson, and Lieutenant Governor Yanktamay will also be receiving their gifts on behalf of Governor Torres. Proceeding forward, the Honorable Johnson Elimo, Governor, State of Chuuk. His Excellency Marcelo K. Peterson, Governor of the State of Pohnpei. My apologies, the Honorable Marcelo K. Peterson, Governor of the State of Pohnpei. Apologies, I'm a little hungry too, so my apologies, Your Excellency and Mr. Governor. Receiving his gift on behalf of the Honorable Tony Gangyang, Governor of the State of Yap, the Honorable James Yanktamay, Lieutenant Governor.
Once Randy Paul changed his mind. Randy Paul changed his mind. He said he talked to me in Pompey
And last but not least, Governor of the Territory of Guam, the Honorable Eddie Jerome Baza Calvo. Now you know what the J is for in his name. And Mr. Chairman, the Governor of Guam bears gifts for you and your better half. Governor Sagan Ratu. Please, your time's not done yet, Governor Calvo. So we'd like to ask you to please remain in the front with Governor Torres. And for the rest of our chief executives, as we call your name forward, please proceed and place your country's flag on the award that is in front of us today, the Micronesian Islands Forum Bridge of Leadership Award. This bridge symbolizes our connection as one brother, as one fellowship, as one region, and as one Micronesia. His Excellency Tommy Remengesau Jr., President of the Republic of Palau, please come forward and place your flag. Minister Silk, on behalf of Her Excellency President Heine, please place your country's flag. Your Excellency President Christian, please place your flag on the bridge. Honorable Governor Elimo, if you so may. Honorable Governor Peterson, please come forward. Lieutenant Governor Yanktamay, if you so may. Governor Calvo. We will present, even though he is not here, on behalf of the Governor of the State of Coast we will be placing the flag of the State of Coast onto the award. So President Christian, if you so may. And of course, Governor Calvo has placed the flag of Guam on the bridge. Governor Torres, it's your turn. Behind every strong man's a strong woman. First Lady, make sure. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this award right here symbolizes the canoe, a vessel that ties all of our jurisdictions together. It is our ancestors who first used these boats made out of the wood of their homeland to travel through the seas, using only the stars to guide them, eventually leading them to the islands that all of us call home. This was designed by Michael Finey, a carver originally from the state of Yap, but makes his home here in the beautiful island of Saipan. This is a special award for a special person. And for Governor Torres, he will elaborate furthermore.
Well, as you know, one Marianas and one Micronesia, we are brothers and sisters. We're all in one. We have a sail, we all sail together, and we all protect each other. One love. Here's a canoe.
That maybe many of you lost here when we were putting the flags is respect. All of us avoided the middle hole. For what reason? It's just we felt that that would be the place of honor. And you placed it there because you were the last person. It was the only choice. But you notice how we all just went to the sites of it. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Because I also saw that there's an available and you took where you felt was right. And you know, guys, I'll be honest, this is a great honor for me and I'm sure all of us. There is a reason why we're here today. And we have this. This is not just a token to the governor, but this is a token from all of us and for the future that we got to stick together as one Micronesia. Thank you, and I would like to give this now.
When most people retire from certain places, they usually get either a bonus or a watch. Governor, you're getting a canoe. In recognition of your 8 years of service representing the people of Guam in the Micronesian Islands Forum, this Micronesian Islands Forum Bridge of Leadership Award is awarded to Governor Eddie Jerome Baza Calvo, Governor of the Territory of Guam, 2011 to 2019. Any further words, Governor?
All I can say from my heart, I've been blessed in my 8 years serving, to me, a very special people, my Chamorro people, my people of Guam, but even more now, the connection with my family of my fellow Micronesians. And like I said, I may be leaving from public office, but I consider you all my brothers and my sisters till the day I die. So thank you, and God bless you. Tangkulisiduus maasi. Thank you, dude. That's nice. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Mr. President, Mr. President Tommy?
Chairman, Governor Ralph Torres, before we proceed, I just want to say we're disappointed with United because they would not let us bring our gift to you. So you're going to have to come to Palau and enjoy it. It's called the Ralph Torres Rock Island.
We'll be Thank you very much.
at this point in time, I'd like to ask for everybody to please rise for the benediction. Here to do the honors, Pastor of Grace Christian Ministries, Pastor Ray Kinsella.
We'd bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we are so thankful to you, the creator of the whole universe, the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And we acknowledge that, Lord, all authority flows from you. And you have blessed our island communities with leaders to serve our communities, to guide us into peace and prosperity, stability and security. And we thank you for each of them, for their vision, their commitment, and their sacrifice on our behalf. Lord, we know that not only are you the great God, the great Creator, the great King, but Lord, you are also our Father. And you know each of us personally and intimately. And you know these leaders, not just as leaders who have been entrusted with authority and power to lead your people, but Lord, as your child. And you know each of them intimately, their trials, their challenges, their frustrations, their burdens. Not only as leaders of their community, but as individuals, as husbands and wives and fathers and mothers and uncles and aunts. You know them as individuals, and you love each one of them. And you have blessed us through them. We ask that you would bless each of them, Lord, and we thank you for all that you have accomplished through them. And we thank you especially, Lord, for the unity, the solidarity that, Lord, is so evident, but, Lord, not just as leaders in an institution, the Micronesian Island Forum, but, Lord, as friends, and ones that, Lord, not only respect each other as fellow leaders, but as brothers, as families that, Lord, are bound with humility, compassion, and really love for each other. It's an awesome picture, Lord. We ask that, Lord, as you have brought this unity, and we know that this has not been easy, but, Lord, it's something that you have helped them to achieve. And they have a vision, Lord, far beyond today. They have a vision of navigating the world as one Micronesia. We ask that, Lord, you would anoint them. Help them, Lord. Give them, Lord, the knowledge and the understanding, the insight and the wisdom, the patience and the endurance, and continue, Lord God, to bless them with humility, compassion, and love, and help them, Lord God, to nurture, Lord, that strength of unity, to serve your people. And we will be sure to bring honor and glory to your name and to thank you, Lord, because ultimately, Lord, it is you that has entrusted them. And you have, Lord God, guided them. And they have blessed us, Lord, because of, Lord, their humility and their service to you. So we thank you for this forum. We thank you for all that you've done. We ask you bless us, Lord, as we go from here. We give you all the honor and the glory, and we ask it in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
I guess we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna adjourn. After the adjourn, I ask that we just remain standing as we ask our color guards to retrieve our flags. So with that, with great honor and privilege, we're now adjourn our 23rd Micronesian Island Forums, and we look forward on our next Island Forum in the Island of Truth. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the retrieval of colors. Doing the honors as they did at the beginning of the 23rd Micronesian Islands Forum is the CNMI State Color Guard component under the direction of Colonel Pete Leon Guerrero. Colonel, officers, thank you. This concludes the 23rd Micronesian Islands Forum. On behalf of Governor Torres, Lieutenant Governor Hukuk, and the people of the Northern Mariana Islands, thank you for these 3 days of dialogue and discussion. We will see you in Chuk next year. Have a safe journey home. Viva Micronesia! DRs, let's engage in some housekeeping. Let's make sure that we have all of the documents for our respective chief executives squared out and collected. And we'll see you guys at the Flame Tree Arts Festival tonight, Saturday, and Sunday. Don't miss it. And for all DRs, please kindly return your air cards that you were given prior to the start of the forum back to our staffers for accurate collection. Thank you. Enjoy it. Good luck with the micro games. I want to. My wife was supposed to paddle, but unfortunately, there's